Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Trek Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We've got an awesome trailer we're about ready to show you. This is a brand new 2025 Cimarron Stierwalt. This is a completely custom trailer. This is definitely not something you're gonna see just sitting on the lot, but this just goes to show you what we can do with Cimarron and really building a custom trailer to fit a customer's needs and wants. And this one doesn't miss anything. This one's really cool, so buckle up. You gotta bear with us here. There's a lot on this trailer that we're gonna show you. Let's jump in first by showing you the drawing of the trailer so I can show you kind of how it's laid out. So I mentioned this is a Cimarron Stierwalt. So it's gonna be a show cattle trailer. This guy here that we're looking at is 32 foot on the floor. We're 8 foot wide. The main part of the trailer is 7'1" tall. But then as we get into this integrated roof line itself, we're gonna jump up to 7'10". So it's really gonna separate this trailer from everything else. It's again, very, very unique that we're gonna look at here. But I, again, don't wanna miss anything. So this is a really cool custom trailer. So first and foremost, Cimarron all aluminum construction, 8-year structure warranty, 3-year hardware. And then from there, we're gonna get into this trailer, okay? So first and foremost, you're gonna notice that this thing is shiny. It is awesome. It's got that full polish on it. You're also gonna notice on that top rail, it's got a painted top rail on it. We'll show you more as we kind of work through this trailer itself. But you know, this just goes to show you a lot of the customization that can go into these trailers. Like as we're looking here at the front, couple things. We'll just start at the top. There's that good look of that painted top rail. 3 button lights there in the middle. Those are LEDs. Those are going to be incorporated throughout the top rail. There's a ton of them on this. This thing's going to light up like a Christmas tree at night. You're also going to notice the lighted sign. So this is a custom lighted sign here. This one actually is going to be headed to olive ranches in Nebraska. But as you can see, it's got the lighted sign there, the polished nose. On a lot of the trailers, you're gonna see the polished nose itself, but as we start walking through this trailer, you're gonna notice it on the side sheets as well. This is a cool thing. They wanted to go with a quick connect coupler. Don't blame them. When this guy sets in, it locks. You got the cable that you can pull that will release it when you're actually hooked up to the truck, and you've got a lot of flexibility here to adjust this depending on what the tow vehicle is. You know, a lot of these newer trucks are a lot taller bed height. This guy here is rated for 30,000 pounds, but it's got a lot of flexibility by having this kind of lower profile actual coupler itself, but we can adjust it within that stem there to make sure it's running nice and level. All right, you're gonna notice the roll-up door. One, I love the look of this. I think it really just brings a trailer together when you're looking at these, especially when you get into this custom type trailer here, but it also serves purposes. I think it does help from aerodynamics. You're not catching wind underneath these trailers with these little bit longer noses that we have on this guy, but it also is gonna protect everything behind it as well. So, we got a lot going on here. This one has dual jacks on it, which is fantastic because not only one is it a hydraulic jack and you can push a button, you know, we don't have to hand crank anything. You know, we understand with these type of trailers, you might leave a lot of equipment on them when you're, you know, when you get home or at a show, you know, they get a little heavy when you go to crank them off. By pushing a button, boy, it makes a world of difference. This does have an override as well if we get in emergency situations. But the other thing about having the dual jacks too is, look, if you back up and you're not perfectly square, you can actually kind of, you know, walk a trailer onto a truck because you have dual switches up here, so I can run each one individually. So if I'm off a little bit, I can kind of tip it towards the other side and set it onto the ball, but that's really nice. And then again, if you're needing to level something up, you've not only lengthwise on the trailer, but side to side, you've got that capability too by having those. You're gonna notice the pump underneath there. That is for our electric over hydraulic brakes. Disc brakes on this guy, we'll talk more about those. Spare tires located underneath this battery box here, aluminum battery box. Behind that is gonna be your battery. We are gonna go in and add a second battery to this one. This one's got a lot of lights, so I just wanna make sure that this has plenty of power. So we're gonna go in and add a second battery. That's one nice thing about this bigger box. You've got that capability. One other thing, now this is standard on 25 models. It's a Redarc charger. So anything that has a hydraulic jack with these batteries on it is gonna have this Redarc charging system. What that actually is, it's a true 3-stage charger. So normally without that, you know, when you're running with your truck plugged into this trailer, it's going to work as a trickle charger. I like to say this is almost like a supercharger. So this is going to keep the batteries, the longevity and life of these batteries a lot longer. Because of that, it's also going to protect our truck, you know, from tripping fuses, those type of things if we do run in those situations with a low battery. But you know, this guy here is, we're plugged into a truck, again, 3-stage. It's a fantastic system. It's a little bit newer, again, on the 25 models moving forward, but that is standard. And again, we're going to go ahead and put that second battery in there, and then there is a battery disconnect in there as well. So this thing does have a ton of light, so if something accidentally gets left on, we're not draining battery. The last thing you do when you park this is you reach up and turn that guy to the off position. Right here is going to be brackets for a generator. You can set a generator there. This is a little bit longer nose than standard. That way you can set a generator on there with the enclosed front end. And then we've got those outlets right up here. We actually have 2 of them. This one's got a lot of power on it, so we ended up doing 2 30-amp packages on this guy. We've gone in and labeled, you know, what outlets go to what, because there's just different sides of the trailer with power that we'll show you as we get into this. And then the last thing you're going to notice over there is an air ride controller. This trailer is equipped with air ride suspension. This right here is all self-contained, very simple to use, on, off, lower, raise. And then this has the auto drain as well. So when it changes, you know, air pressure, it'll go ahead and spit that stuff out. That way we're keeping that system nice and clear. But we've done some how-to videos on how to properly operate it and shut it down. We can send you in a real condensed version, about 2 minutes. We can send you those. We're going to talk more about the air ride here in a few minutes, but that's giving you a good overview of what we've got going on behind this roll-up door. It's surrounded by the diamond plate, and one of the last things we did is we put a couple lights right here, because look, the cab lights of the truck might get kind of interfered with the nose itself, so why not have some light coverage here with the diamond plate, the enclosed front end. As you're backing up to it at night, boy, it really does kind of brighten everything up. But it's nice to be able, if you need to get in there and do something, fire up that generator, plug those cords in, anything like that, you've got that capability right there. Switch is right over here by our switches for the actual jacks itself. So that's just a good overview of the gooseneck, and underneath that area there is a good look at that polish. It really, you know, ties in really nice with this trailer. We did the mill finished extrusion on the bottom, and then again there's a good look at that painted top rail. You're also going to notice up top there is an armless awning. We're going to roll that guy out here in a little bit, but that guy sets over this area. We go right into the stall area. It's going to have a side ramp. Now going into the side ramp, into the stall area, you're going to notice we have a gate going across this opening. So what's awesome about this, if you're showing off this trailer, you know, you get somewhere where you want to just kind of open it up, get a little bit more airflow through there. With having those gates, you know, you get that cross breeze throughout there. We don't have to worry about calves if you've got them loose in there or anything like that trying to come off the trailer. You're also going to notice the drop windows. So they opted for drop windows on this one rather than the standard stock. It's a cool look. We'll really, when we get to the end of the trailer, we'll shut all these windows up so you can really appreciate all that stainless, the painted top rail, and then how it blends in with that side extrusion that we're looking at down low. But a ton of airflow for the calves by having these drop windows. And then as you can see, the lower air gaps on a fold up aluminum slat. So no plexiglass, you don't have to worry about any of that on this trailer here. You want to talk about airflow and keeping calves comfortable, you know, you really got it with the way that this trailer is set up. You know, the gate goes a couple inches off the top, just because, you know, we don't want to get a calf getting their head up there or anything like that. For taller individuals, there is a bumper. You'll appreciate that. These low profile trailers, you know, or trailers that have these kind of lower entrances like that, you know, you hit your head a couple times, and believe me, you'll really like those pads that we put in here. So now we get into this stall area. one more just amazing setup. So what we have here is we have 22 foot of stall area right here of that 32 foot we were talking about. First gate right here, you can see these airflows, these jail bars, once again incorporating it throughout with just airflow. We're doing these a lot more on our show cattle trailers. This actually was a concept from the horse side of our inventory in the industry on their airflow dividers, keeping animals nice and cool. We took it over here and put it on the cattle side. Normally you'd have just kind of that stock opening, so a little bit of airflow through here, where this has got a ton of airflow because of the upright jail bars. And then a 48-inch swing, no threshold, so we don't have to worry about calves stepping over anything. And both of these are traveling gates. So if we look over here on the sides, you've got these notches with the heavy UHMW plastic, and then these pins. So these gates run on this rail, so we can run them and manipulate stall sizes all we want. You know, you're gonna see them throughout the whole stall area. That way you can change some things up. Maybe you've got a cow-calf pair that you want to separate, but you don't want to waste one giant stall. Maybe you're traveling with a bull. Maybe you've got some younger heifers and some older breds. Maybe you got steers. You know, you just want to just give them every opportunity to kind of, you know, have some room, keep them comfortable, but again, not waste space. And I really feel like we nailed it with this one. This gate here actually can break loose and go right up against this partition wall. So how we have it set up right now is you have two gates, so you can have 3 different stalls. But then you can change stall sizes. If you only want to have 2 stalls, you can slide this guy forward and lock it into place, and then just use the back gate to manipulate those. And what's cool is, again, calves don't have anything to walk over, but these 48-inch swings go both directions, so they're really easy to get around in this trailer. The one thing about this one, when you go to move these gates, if you notice on these drop windows with these jail bars that we have here, when the windows get down, the jail bars kind of kick in a little bit. So anytime you're actually wanting to move these gates and float them and lock them where you want, you'll just need to go ahead, shut these doors. These jail bars will come straight up, more parallel to the side of the trailer. Then you can move your gates where you want. You know, typically what you'll do is you'll have an idea. You know, you use it a couple times, you'll know, like, hey, if we're taking a couple heifers, a steer, something like that, how do we want the stalls set up? How many head are we putting in each section? You're gonna have those gates somewhat set exactly how you want it. But again, you've got the flexibility because they run on this top rail, and it just makes it so easy to, again, manipulate these stall sizes. Now, as we get up here to the front, big calf gate, so we don't have to worry about, you know, anybody trying to get their head up there or anything like that. It's solid, it's out of the way. This guy just folds down. It's got a couple pins on the side. We put a fold-up cleat and then a handle right up here. So if you need to get up into the gooseneck area, very easy to do, and then that guy just folds up out of the way. You're also going to have a light switch for the light in the nose, so you have light up in this area as well, but that switch is located right up there to the right. And talk about a ton of space to store items here. Because of the extra length on this nose and the width, with it being 8 wide, a little bit more headroom with it being a little bit taller than our standard Stierwalts. You know, you can get up there, you can store a lot of stuff up there. We did this gray rubber tread on the deck itself. So items can kind of slide a little bit easier for you, but it does still have some grip, and it's gonna hold up really well, and the sides are all sealed. And then you're gonna notice the white sheeting on the nose, on the inside. And that's because we have that stainless sheet on the outside of the trailer. For instance, for some reason, if something gets thrown up here and dings that sheet from the inside, on the outside of the trailer it's glaring. So we need to kind of protect those stainless sheets, and that's why you have the white in there. And then with that light, you know, bouncing off that white, it really gives you a nice light coverage and a really bright area to work. But talk about a ton of storage up here in this neck area. Over to the left is actually going to be for our breaker box. So again, we've got power on this one. We've got some outlets that we'll show you throughout this trailer. That's where that power comes into. It also has an inverter, so as this guy is bringing power in, it'll convert it over there to that 12 volt power. So it's going to keep those batteries charged up when we actually are plugged in, whether it's a portable generator or we've got another power source. We've got that right here. So again, that guy folds up very easily. So then you start going, okay, well, we have power. Where's the power and why? So up here on this top rail, you're going to notice some outlets. We got outlets spread throughout this stall area. On the top rail, we have a few more over here on passenger side. There's 4 over here, and then 2 over on driver's side. There was one up in the nose, if you noticed as well. But up here, we've got some power. So if you notice, there's some airliner track on these roof bows. So this trailer here has got 3 18-inch fans that actually connect and lock right in there, and then you can plug them in. So those 18-inch fans, they don't hang as low as like a 24-inch fan. They work really well, but again, we can manipulate and move them from you know, different sides of the stall, different areas that you might have some calves, but create that airflow by having those and then those outlets. So those fans are actually have to come off of power, so they're not going to come off at 12 volt. So you will have to be plugged into that external power source to run those fans, but that's standard on these type of setups that you're looking at there. LED OptiBright lights, I kind of showed you one up in the nose, but we got a bunch in the stall area. Kind of spread them out on both sides. That way when you're moving gates, you're going to always have light coverage based on where those lights are. But those OptiBrights are great. They're a big clear lens. They put off a ton of light. We were doing those pretty much on all our inventory trailers, and then Cimarron made them standard here recently. So we're familiar with them, but we're happy they just kind of went ahead and made it a standard feature. So now as we get to the back side, here is the second traveling gate. Again, 48-inch swing, no threshold, airflows. And then again, you can see we've got the ability to lock those into place and again create some different stall sizes. We put this rubber mat. So this is like kick mat from, again, the horse trailer side of things. We put it on this partition wall here. You can see we put it all the way around. That is such a nice feature because, you know, we don't really have anything for these calves really to rub on like the aluminum. It's also going to protect it. Again, kind of a piece that we brought over from the horse trailer world, and we incorporated it throughout. I mean, you can see all the way around this stall area it's got it, even up on the drop wall back here to the partition wall. And then as you get to the wheel wells too, wheel wells have rubber on it. Everything's tapered, so no 90-degree angles here in the corners. We taper those, we taper them up. You know, we want animal safety first and foremost, so go ahead and protect them. That's why you have that. Werm flooring, you don't have to worry about pulling mats. Believe me, pulling mats is like wrestling an alligator, and it is not fun. That was my job when I was younger. I got to clean all the stock trailers. So guess what? You have to pull the mats out and then pull them back in. We don't have to worry about it here. Werm is permanent, it's unpenetrable, good cushioning to it, good grip for the calves as well. I also like it too because it almost works as an insulator on the floor too when you're traveling, you know, in those hot months or even in the cold months. But what you have is, you know, you don't have your traditional load. So you go, okay, well, when you go to clean it out, how do you do it? Well, you're gonna have to muck things out. But then when you go to power wash it, you're gonna nose it up a little bit. And then right back here at the back by the partition wall, you're gonna notice we got a couple plugs and a couple of floor drains, so we can get that stuff out of here really easy. And then these aluminum plugs just go right back in, and there you go. So again, nose it up a little bit, gravity will take care of the rest, but very easy to power wash as far as that's concerned. Now let's talk about floor. When you're building a house, you want a strong foundation, and you are starting with the strongest foundation there is in the market with a Cimarron. So it is a 12-inch deck. It's tongue and groove, high and low, locks in, but that extruded piece of aluminum has a V-truss in the middle, so we have centers every 4 inches. Cimarron has the best floor on the market. So imagine hoof size of a calf. Wherever they're standing on this floor, they're standing on a support beam. That V-truss actually happened a few years back. They changed it to that. It actually made the shear force strength 60% stronger than the previous floor. They had the best, they improved it. So that's what they're standing on. So that's where you have that real strong foundation when you're actually building and hauling a Cimarron. The other thing, you really can't see it up where the paneling is, but if you look down low where these lower air gaps are, you're gonna notice these posts. These are the upright posts right here. Cimarron has the strongest upright posts on the market as well. These have the exact same amount of aluminum as these roof bows that you see up on the actual ceiling itself, but it's more of a square. This right here, a 20-foot stick of this guy, you can see that arch to it, wobbles like a noodle. You take the upright post on a Cimarron, 20-foot stick, it's like a pencil, it's one fluid motion. So strongest upright post, strongest floor. Wherever you have kind of some openings, you know, where like door frames, wheel wells, you're gonna have a 6-inch tube, so a little bit larger tube in some of those instances. But as you can see, we've got tie rail as well, so you can tie calves down, have a little bit higher one that we can tie them up a little bit if we need to. And then we even have this door that goes out. Again, gate just like over the side ramp. We put tie rail high and low to match as well. So again, you've got that flexibility to, you know, place calves and again manipulate those stall sizes all you want, but still give them the ability to tie them up or tie them to even lay down. You have that on these. Okay, so we looked at the ceiling a little bit, but let's talk about a couple things we got going on there. So we have two-way roof vents. We got a bunch of them in here, so we can really manipulate that airflow. I mean, you want to talk about a comfortable ride for the calves. I mean, we have this thing completely open today. The flag's not even really moving, but you can just feel just a slight breeze and it's cutting across this trailer. So again, it's going to keep these calves nice and cool. Best example is, if you're in your vehicle, passenger vehicle, and you have your windows up, you roll one down, maybe driver's side, you get a little bit of air movement, but it's not quite what you want on hot days. You roll down that second one on the other side, and it creates that cross breeze for you. And that's what happens when we have all these drop windows, all these lower vents open, and then we have these actually two-way roof vents. We can manipulate that airflow throughout here. The final piece is going to be that roof. So this is standard on every single Cimarron. Doesn't matter if it's this trailer, a living quarters, a bumper pole, a car hauler, whatever it is, they all have this exact same roof. It is insulated, it is R3 thermal value, but it is a honeycomb design, 1/2 inch thick. It can take 150 pounds per square foot. I can walk on this roof. I don't have to find the roof bows and I won't dent it. So it'll take substantial hail. Again, you can walk on it. So it's really strong and durable from that standpoint. But more importantly is it's nice and cool for the calves in here. It'll keep this stall area 20% cooler than an aluminum sheeted roof. That makes a massive difference if you start thinking about these summer months that you're hauling, going to, you know, junior nationals, going to state fairs, you know, traveling long distances, keeping these calves nice and cool and comfortable is really important. And with that roof, it does it. You know, if you ever see us at some shows, you know, we'll be outside on asphalt, we'll have an easy up tent, and in the afternoons, we might actually be sitting in the trailer because it's actually cooler in here than even out there, even under the shade of our easy up tent, but you get in here and it's that much cooler. So, boy, I hope we didn't miss anything in here. This had a lot. I know I threw a lot at you, but again, what a cool and unique setup just to be able to maneuver, you know, calves how you want, be able to manipulate stall sizes all you want, but then also keeping them safe and keeping them nice and comfortable in here. And that's what you have in this area. All right, so again, there's a good look at these drop windows. And then you have the lower fold down air slats as well. These guys here are on a gas shock. so you can fold them up and down, and just talk about just the engineering and everything that goes into this. So we looked at window sizes when we were designing this trailer and really getting down to the final, just crossing, you know, all the final details off. Is I just showed you, and maybe you didn't even notice it, but that fold up slat and this opening, this drop window does not interfere with it at all. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. These are the same feed doors we use on our horse trailers. So these guys are big and stout, a lot of framework to them. Again, you've got the jail bars up there to kind of protect them. If you got some calves loose in there, you don't have to worry about them trying to stick their head out or anything like that. Again, the polish around them. Welded hinges with grease zerks, so easier to maintain. You know, if you start getting a squeaky hinge, something like that, there's a brass rod that runs in the middle, so you just put a little grease to it, open and close it. But that brass rod has a swirl kind of cut into it, almost like, you know, candy cane, almost. You envision that. So when you put that grease in there and open and close these, you're gonna see that throughout the whole thing. Shout out to our cameraman, Jody. You're gonna see him in this video a lot. It's hard to avoid with this cool looking trailer. So there's a just good look at those drop windows. Everything's key to like too. So all these windows, the tack that we'll show you here in a minute, they all have the same key. You can lock everything up. The side ramp, there again, those are the fold up slats. It just blends into the trailer. One other piece is you're gonna have your amber turn signal. This is a long trailer, 32 foot on the floor. That amber turn signal will work as an extra marker light for you, but it'll be an indicator. You turn on your blinker, you hit your brake, it will indicate. So a lot of people don't pay attention to trailers, in my opinion. So, you know, trucks a long ways away, going ahead and turning that guy on and being able to see everything and letting them know, hey, I'm trying to come over, definitely helps. I'm just gonna get a couple of these guys shut up. That way you can just, I want you to appreciate how cool and how good looking this trailer is and what an amazing job Cimarron did. So there's a good look at that. You can see the awning lights. So 16-inch awning lights. We did 3 per side. So a little bit ahead of the ramp, behind the ramp, back by the tack, we'll show you here in a minute. And then again, there's all those marker lights I was telling you about. Again, this guy will look like a Christmas tree going down the light at night, down the road at night. I mean, there's a ton of them on there. And then that armless awning, we'll roll that out here in a few minutes. Let's jump back in. So let's talk about these axles. I mentioned air ride. Once you have an air ride trailer, the most common thing I hear from customers is, I am never going back. What it does for the ride for the animals is unbelievable. These calves will think that they're in the barn. They will want to lay down as you're traveling long distances. They're going to be fresher when you get to the show, when they step off the trailer. You know, a lot of times some people even say, man, I can take them off the trailer, I can go to the show ring. It is a game changer from that standpoint. We've done a lot of testing. Dexter has as well. We've done a bunch of videos on it. But all I can tell you is just talk to people that have these newer air ride trailers and the systems. Yes, it is an upgrade, so it is an upfront cost on it. But think about the miles, think about the amount of calves, think about the years you're gonna be dragging this trailer. You want these calves to compete at the highest level. Let's give them every opportunity to do that. And the only way to do that is, in my opinion, is put them on air ride. It is unbelievable what it does. And when you're pulling these trailers, this might look like a big trailer, but this thing tows phenomenally well because of that air ride. You're also gonna notice spread axle. So spread axle is gonna help weight distribution. We're gonna take away some tongue weight, but also it's just gonna improve the ride that much more. You know, air ride is unbelievable as it is, but then you incorporate it with like a spread axle. Think about this. This wheel right here gets into maybe some big bumps, some potholes. That back tire is still on the normal, you know, road conditions. As this one transitions out and starts recovering, now that one's into it, and it just makes it that much smoother because of that foot, that 12-inch spread there. Again, just allowing that ride to be so much nicer for the calves. The other thing is this is a rubber torsion axle with a shock kit. So if something does happen with the air ride, you can still get to where you need to. Maybe it's a compressor, a bag, a line, a leveling valve, just some odd little things like that that might occur, but it still sets down and you can still get to where you need to go. So you're not stuck. Old systems couldn't move the trailer. This trailer is aired up right now, so it's picked it up about 2.5 inches. So it picks the trailer up a little bit more. When you're loading calves, unloading calves, equipment, whatever it is, you're gonna want to actually air it down, because now when the trailer's lower, our ramps aren't as steep. So load your calves, load your equipment, give yourself a few minutes doing final checks before you pull out the driveway, turn it on, raise it up. Same thing at the show, get there, turn it down, you're ready to go, and a lot easier for them getting on and off. I mentioned electric over hydraulic disc brakes. So these 8K axles have the 8K electric over hydraulic disc option. As you can see, these are some awesome tires. Those are cool. 19.5-inch Alcoas with an H-rated 16-ply Continental. Talk about heavy-duty wheels and tires. This guy has got it, and it looks good too. You know, those Alcoas will shine up, you know, down the years if you need to. That's one nice thing about those Alcoas. That look to it as well, that mod look, I think just gives it a beefier look to those wheels as well. And it just looks so good and blends in with this trailer so nice. So we'll take a step back. I know we've been admiring this trailer, and we're gonna continue to do so, because I want you to notice that we did this integrated roof line. So as you can see, we've got, okay, the trailer, and then it breaks up. So we do this a lot on our horse trailers with, you know, hay pods, those type of items. In this instance here, we'll show you this has got a lot of cool features when we get in this tack room for you. But I want you to just appreciate just the look. Again, it's sleek. It's got that enclosed front end, all the polish, you know, the painted top rail, all the lights, and then I think it caps it off with that integrated roof line. So it breaks it up, raises the trailer up, gives you more of that paneling just to appreciate with that. But as we get into this trailer and this back tack room, so I showed you the drawing earlier. So we have 22 foot of floor, and then we have a 10-foot rear tack on this trailer. So we've got a dual entrance. So as you can see, we've got a ramp over a door going into the side. But what's really awesome is this back ramp. So we can go straight into this full back tack on this guy here. So again, we're raised up 2.5 inches, air it down. That way it lowers it, you know, ramp isn't as steep. But talk about just the ease of, you know, showing off this trailer, getting to a show. You know, think about a lot of times, you're either offloading on the side or you're backing into places. So you can back in, drop this guy down, offload everything you need to here. But as we work in, first thing you're gonna see, gray rubber. I showed you on the deck for the gooseneck. It's got that here, and then it goes into the floor itself. So we really tried to come up with some unique custom storage for this setup, with this being a rear tack. We'll just kind of start over on the left-hand side. And I want to show you something. You're gonna see a 24-inch fan. Well, a lot of us travel with 24-inch fans when we're going to shows. So we wanted to come up with a unique storage for those fans. So what we did is we've got, it's almost like, imagine Tetris. We're trying to get all these pieces to fit. So what we did is this door actually folds down and then actually locks into place. But I can fold it down, set my fan in. It's on heavy UHMW plastic on this deck here. And then up where the motor is, you're gonna have that gray rubber. But what you can do is you can just slide your fans in that area, flip this guy up, and then pin it. That'll house 4 of those 24-inch fans. So again, try to come up with some unique solutions for them for storage. Above it is actually gonna be a shelf. We tried to go up because guess what? Our roof line went up when we did this actually integrated roof. So storage up top, up there. Then we've got our fans here. Well, then below it, you kind of go, okay, well, there's more of that rubber. I see the airliner track. What do we kind of got going on here? We see this big hook. Well, as we get over into this area, you're going to notice this box right here. Well, guess what? This is actually wheel well. So this is the inside of the wheel well itself that we're looking at. But as you can see, this box, it almost looks like it has a lid. Well, they want to do and carry some custom panels. So we talked about, okay, what do you need for height? How do you want to build them? What type of length? Well, guess what? We can flip this guy over. We can stack panels here. We have hooks with this airliner track. And then this large hook back here that Cimarron came up with to incorporate into the airliner track, that we can set those panels on, and depending on what length they want to make them, they can slide this one way or the other, giving them support back there. And then again, the airliner track with the hooks, you've got the flexibility to set those wherever you want. So set your panels here, strap them down with that airliner track that we incorporated with throughout it. We actually considered doing a box across, but we thought, you know, maybe they want to put some other stuff underneath those panels. As you can see, I have a ladder sitting there. And I would recommend to the customers, hey, carry a little step stool, little ladder like this, because there'll be some things, you know. Some shorter individuals might have a little bit more of an issue trying to get those to slide or get them set in there. So having that ladder available is definitely nice. But we'll show you that here in a few more minutes on why I got that guy in here and some other really cool features on it. Partition wall. Again, we did rubber all the way around. Let's kind of protect this area. We understand you're going to be putting equipment back here. Let's try to not scuff anything up. We ran that airliner track around. Again, more adjustable hooks. That way you can set things where you want, strap them down as you are traveling. It's just going to protect everything. Big, heavy utility hooks. Those are heavy duty right there. Those are aluminum with powder coating. And with these, they're really spaced well, in my opinion, but also deep in the height. So we used to use bridle hooks from horse trailers. Well, look, we drag big hoses, big cords, those type of items. They don't really work on those. So Cimarron designed these, again, aluminum powder coated, so they're really nice and stout. So we can hang a lot of items here. Again, with the rubber, it's going to protect everything. And the way the roof line breaks up, there's the front of it. But what we did was we put a big deck all the way across that thing. So you want to talk about additional storage. Think about everything you can just set up there as well. As we get over here to the right, a couple things going on. First, you're going to notice this shelf, okay? Another shelf, more storage. We can go up, we can go higher. These are 18 inches deep, it has a 2-inch lip. It's got rubber on the bottom of the deck itself, so things aren't going to shift. But then we have a clothes rod behind it, because, okay, we all know, we go to shows, you know, we have to have places for things to store and keep organized. Well, you know, we're always taking hanging clothes, those type of items. Maybe they take up space in the back of the truck that we don't need to. Guess what? We've got a clothes rod back here. You're showing off this trailer. Somebody needs to come in, change into a dress shirt. They can have it right here and out of the way. Well, this is a unique piece. They requested this. First, I was kind of like, okay. But now that I see it, and we've done some cool designs with our help from Outback Conversions, this turned out awesome. They wanted a little vanity, and I totally get it. They got some young girls showing, hey, everybody wants to look good, and now you've got a place for that right here. So we have a fold-up table, sets down, put a little chair right here, a mirror with lights underneath there. We were told to make it cute, and I hope we hit it. I love it because they when we were working with Outback, they said, hey, let's go ahead, let's do this wood framing. You know, we'll do this stain. It'll go well with the gray and the black that's incorporated in there. We were really pumped. I told them, let's get some cool lights underneath there. So we've got some lights. We've got the capability to sit right here. The girls can get ready to go to the show ring, anything like that. Above it is a stereo. So you might have probably noticed the speakers on the outside when we were looking at the roof line breaking up, but we have a stereo in here, and then we have 2 speakers. We have one above that shelf, and then one towards the back over there, towards the back end of the trailer. So we have speakers, interior, exterior. We can actually turn, you know, the outside off if we want, or just kind of isolate, you know, where we want to listen to them, or have them both on. That's what's fantastic about that. Couple outlets back here too. one close to that vanity, and then one back there by that door if you need to just run a cord out there. You know, you're showing off of this depending on what direction you're going. But again, more outlets back here. So you've got that power in the trailer itself. And then one of the last pieces, okay, we have a bunch of lights on the roof, on the actual ceiling itself. We wanted more of those OptiBright lights. And then you're gonna go, well, okay, I'm seeing some hooks up there. So there's a tube that runs the length here, and we incorporated some airliner track up there as well, and you do see these hooks. So on a trip to Cimarron, we had a weaver light because they wanted some unique storage for their weaver lights. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to take the, unpin the arm. In my opinion, up there on that deck would be a great place to store those, even on some of these shelves, something like that, maybe underneath the panels, wherever you want there. But they said, hey, we're gonna carry about 4 of these weaver lights. Where do we put them? And that's not the first time we've heard that. We've heard this from other customers. We understand you use these lights. They serve a great purpose. So now we got to figure out a good place to store them. Well, we went up in height. Okay, well, that's kind of some wasted space. Let's make it usable. So that's why you see the shelves incorporated like we do, and the deck up on top, and now this guy. Well, what we've got is we've got a weaver light up here. Here's my ladder I was telling you about. So a good thing to kind of carry. But as you can see, these hooks on the airliner track. So again, this was us messing around at Cimarron one day going, okay, how do we do this? How do we build the hooks? Let's incorporate that airliner track, because then we can adjust it how we need to. But as you can see, we've got a weaver light sitting right up here. So you literally just lift up and out it goes. So again, you remove the arm, but then all I do is I just lift it back up and it's in place. So that'll house 4 of those weaver lights. I do want to say a big thank you to a local weaver dealer that allowed us to go ahead and borrow that fan and that light. So Level Up Show Supplies here in Colorado. Thank you to them. So giving us some of these pieces to just show you how it actually is. I mean, I think it adds a lot of validity to what we're doing, instead of just saying, yeah, you can put them up there. No, look, that's a weaver light up there. That is a 24-inch fan up there. So that's what we designed and had in mind for these customers. And again, I think we nailed it. It's awesome. It's great storage. It's good use of space. And on such a cool trailer, let's come up with some of these cool designs. So one other thing is the awning and lights. Those controls are right here. I'll show you that awning here in a minute, but I want you to look at some hooks up top there. So at the back, when I was at Cimarron, made a trip down there that day, walked through this trailer, and we go, okay, what else can we do? What else can we tweak? And that was kind of, again, well, what can we do up there? That's kind of some wasted space. Well, we always travel around with just different items. So we understand you're going to get to places and you need, a pitchfork, and you got to have a broom and those type of items, but where are they going to live? So we put some hooks up top there. So not only could you put some items like that right there, but you could hang some big cords. It's inside the rear ramp, which I'll go ahead and shut, but you can see that with those big utility hooks, again, maybe it's your cords, maybe you put these up front there, but maybe it's cords or hoses, or maybe these are some items that you're going to make beds when you get to the show first thing. I can walk in here, I can grab them. They're really easy, accessible, but we just, again, what else can we do? What else can we do for storage? We understand you're carrying a lot of items, and why not go ahead and actually have those guys places for items to stay. So on the awning with the controls, you can do it manually and just hold the button. If you double click something, the button itself, you can actually go ahead, and it's rolling out right now. Got some LED lights along this edge here. With it being armless, that is the only way to go on these. So one, the extra height of this trailer comes into play here too. This is a really low profile trailer. You know, these awnings want to hang really, really low. With that added height, now this thing gets up and off the ground, out of the way. Armless, you're not having to work around them. We understand if you're showing out here and you need, you know, to be underneath this awning, last thing you want to do is hit your head on an awning arm or anything like that. So that's where the armless comes into play. Look, if it's windy, you need to have this guy in. That's the way just all these awnings are. You know, you don't want to do damage or anything like that to them or the trailer itself. But that's what's fantastic, is you can just push a button, out it comes. You can push a button and in it goes. You got the light, you got your LEDs underneath. That's why we position them where they are. So again, you've got light coverage underneath here. But the armless awnings are sleek, a good look, and again, I think they're the only way to go in these type of instances, this type of a trailer, just because, you know, we don't want to have to work around those arms. So this door is really cool too, because, you know, as you are, you know, getting places, yes, your rear ramp opens up all the way, but we thought about doing a door with a step, but, you know, a lot of times they might actually have that rear shut and just working off the side. So, you know, the ramp makes a big difference. You know, you can open and shut that door, have the ramp down. It makes that transition really nice going in and out. You see the extrusion. We tied it back into the door. I think that was a great call on just tying this trailer together. So then on the ramp, guess what? We did the same thing. So it's got the polished with the extrusion down low. When you look at the side of the trailer, that seam does not break. So aesthetically, it's so pleasing from that standpoint. There's a good look at those speakers up top. Another awning light above that door, and then again, you know, big canvas right there with all that added height, and then all that polish that we're looking at. A couple things they also asked for is they asked for some hooks. So if they get somewhere and they actually want to build a little bit of a pin for their calves to tie out, they wanted to be able to have some places where they can hook those to the trailer. So we have a couple hooks here, some at the front, and then some on the other side of the trailer too. So there's little things that we can customize for customers. You know, just special requests. Those are real simple, you know, easy pieces we can add to them. Okay, look at the back. So we wrap that extrusion around with all the polish, and then you see that V kind of design in there. I think that the girls will really appreciate that. I think they have some V's in their names, so that ties in really cool there. You can see all the polish, painted top rail, couple pedestal load lights. Those are adjustable. They're just tipped down right now, but you can tip them out, get you more light coverage. So again, you have exterior lights, load lights all the way around this. It's a taller trailer. So instead of just, you know, normally our two uppers, tail lights and two on the side, we did 6. So we did 3 on each, kind of half of the trailer, 2 up top, 2 down each side. So what's really unique about them as well is there's a built-in backup light in there. That's what that white kind of X you see in there is. So when you put your truck in reverse, those guys there will actually work as a backup light for you. So you have all that light coverage back here, and talk about how they're spread out. You get in unfamiliar places at night, you get home late at night, you need to be able to see your truck's a long way away. You know, 32 foot on the floor, longer nose. You know, our backup light on our truck is not going to do us any good back here. That's where those come into play. So those are definitely nice. All those light switches are right here, so we can turn on each side, the back, anything like that from right here individually. There's those hooks again I was telling you about. On this back portion, we have tie rail high and low right here. And then as we work forward, there again is those drop down windows, the jail bars, and then the fold ups. Again, I know it's little, might seem silly to some people, but talk about functionality and just again, paying attention to the little things that just make a trailer flow and work really well. I'm gonna get these guys shut up. Above each of these doors too is a drip rail. So that drip rail is important because as stuff comes off the trailer, you know, we don't want it to kind of get in those door openings, freezing up in the summertime, or excuse me, wintertime. You know, Colorado, we have a lot of snow, really sunny days where it'll start to melt and then it'll freeze at night, so that stuff comes off. So we want to try to keep them away from those openings so they don't freeze up. And those drip rails are above all the doors and above all those feed doors to try to help keep some of that away. Some ties on the exterior here. We did kind of a version of the tie rail itself. So you can tie some calves up over here. There's a good look. This access door going into the stall area with the gate over it, like I showed you on the inside. What's really cool about it too is it's not just that window, it's actually got the drop in it as well. And because of the gate there, you get that airflow still in there. You get so much airflow in these trailers by having these drop windows and this lower air gap. Fold up step going into that stall area, making it nice and easy getting in and out. Lower tie rail. There's those hooks that I was telling you about. They're at the front, so they can create a nice big pin out here for their calves, tying them out. Boy, I sure hope I didn't miss anything on this one. This is such a cool trailer. We're very fortunate to be able to work with these customers and build this trailer. So a shout out to Olive Ranches, the Sells family in Nebraska. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to build you this trailer. I'm gonna give you the stock number on it for reference. Again, it's obviously a custom sold trailer, but if you want something like it, you can reference this number. It is a 2025 Cimarron Stierwalt 5N240132. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. That was a long one. I might not have a voice after this one, but give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. We do take trades, so if you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available, and delivery is an option. We could potentially bring this to your door. So give us a call, 303-684-3400. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.